Hey champion, it's Stuart Stone here from Health and Fitness Over 40, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to focus on and improve your financial health during these difficult times. So unless you've been living under a rock, you realise that at least half the world's population are pretty much on some form of lockdown, quarantine, limited working opportunities, social distancing during these times of this coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. And here in Australia, we had one day where 80,000 people were put out of work from the hospitality industry. In other words, cafes, restaurants, pubs, hotels and everything else. And we've got about another 1 million people who would otherwise be gainfully employed who are now out of work for the foreseeable future until this lockdown ends, which it could be the end of April, could be the end of May, could be the end of June, or who knows when after that. So what does that mean? That means there are a heck of a lot of people out there who are under extreme financial stress. And the research coming out of the United States says that most families are unable to cope with a $500 or $1,000 surprise expense. In other words, if we're anything like our friends in the United States, and yes, Australia is similar, as is the UK, as is Canada, as is New Zealand, and other Western countries, there are a heck of a lot of people who are undergoing a massive amount of financial stress. And even if you're not at the breadline and freaking out, this video is still for you, because we're going to look at a few key principles to help you overcome that financial stress and move forward with optimism for the future. So let's get stuck in and find out what we can do. And step number one is cut out unnecessary expenses. How do we do that? My suggestion, pull out a couple, let's say your last 2 bank statements. Now these can be online PDF statements or they can be physical statements. Pull them out, look through your expenses and see what's essential and what's not essential. If you've got old gym memberships or subscriptions for different video games or other crap in there, when you look through your statement, you're going to say, I don't even know what that payment is for, and it's coming out each month, it's a direct debit or whatever the heck else it is. If you don't know what it's for, cancel it out. Keep that money in your pocket, because the key principle of wealth is number 1 is making more, number 2 is keeping more of what you make, and number 3 is having what you make work for you even when you're asleep. So principle 1 is keep more money in your pocket. Cut out the unnecessary expenses. Okay, if you're ordering your extra boutique latte coffee mix coming through each month, you know what? You may want to go to your local supermarket and get something that's just a little bit less high end, or whatever it is. You can look through your expenses. You know what you're willing to cut back on and what you're not. But be smart about it. Be brutal might be too strong a word, but be disciplined about it and go, right, that's unnecessary, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. And you keep that cash in your own pocket. So that's step number 1. And like I said, more savings. Look at your essential expenditures and see what you can save money on. So for example, your essential expenditures may be things like lights over your head, your mobile phone, your internet, your gas bills, those sort of things. Can you save money on those? And with that in mind, what I've done over the last 6 weeks is I've started up a business where I'm literally doing that. I'm helping people save money on their essential bills. So gas, electricity, internet, mobile phone, those sorts of things. And in small businesses, we're also looking at their card payments and everything else. And this is with a company that's in 26 different countries, 4 continents. In other words, if you want to save money on your electricity bills and your other essential bills, and you're not sure how to do it, reach out to me. I'll put my personal email in the description below this video. Feel free to hit me up with a quick email and say, Stu, what can I do? How can you help me? Let me know what country you're in. Let me know what services you're looking at. And like I said, we're in 26 countries already. So if there's a strong possibility that I can help you out, if I can help you out, there's no obligation, no cost to you. But the important part is saving you cash. Now the extension of that, principle number 3, is having your cash work for you even when you sleep. And one of the beauties of the businesses that I've got involved with over time is when I was a chiropractor, yes, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. It was great money. I was able to get some investment properties going where I had my tenants paying my mortgages and paying me a residual income on top of that. But a couple of things, for those of you that know me, I had a fall where I broke a bone in my neck. And that was a real wake-up call to me, because I thought, you know what, if I'm consistently working 60, 70 hours, number 1, I'm only recovering over my weekend so I can go and beat my body up the next week. But after I broke my neck, it was a real eye-opener to say, man, if I injure myself, my whole source of income disappears because I'm my source of income, which is part of the reason why I started building a real estate portfolio. But here, when we look at these current situations where people are out of work and they can't necessarily pay their rent, or as we've had here in Australia and in other Western countries, we've had a freeze put on mortgages and a freeze put on rentals so that those people aren't in financial dire straits. But at the same time, while I've got properties, I'm not bringing in a consistent income there. Sure, there may have been a freeze on my mortgage payments for the next 3-6 months or whatever they decided it turns out to be. But the problem being is when that freeze comes off, I've accumulated interest, my costs go up, and my tenants still may not be able to pay for a further 3 months. So that's, although it's a good conservative residual way of earning an income, or a more passive way of earning an income, there is a lot of financial stress associated with that. So I needed to find a business that was recession proof. And recession proof businesses are not those where people are using discretionary income. In other words, if people are looking at gym memberships, vitamins and minerals, aromatherapy oils, massages, those sort of things, that's discretionary income. This is income that they're using after their basic essential services have been paid. So food, water, electricity, roof over their head, that sort of thing. So the first thing that suffers when there's an economic contraction, or in this case something that's been stimulated by a disease, but the end result is the same, there's an economic contraction, people have less available cash, those services go by the wayside. So people, to save money, and as we've talked about in Principle 1, cut out non-essential expenditures, they cut out their gym membership, they cut back on the massages, they go from buying the boutique vitamins and the aromatherapy oils to going more generic, or just eating standard foods, depending on how tight the budget is. So for an effective business moving forward to be recession proof, we have to look at essential services as opposed to fad services that have a season and then disappear and fall off the map. So essential services, like we've already talked about, electricity, the phone, the internet, the gas bill, those sort of things are things that we need to focus on. So like I said already, step 2 was providing an essential service to help you save money on your bills. And that's part of my principle of always be adding value. And during this time of crisis, you need to be stepping up your skill set so that you're always adding value. So when you're back in the marketplace, when this crisis ends, you're adding value and you have a skill set that other people want. But as a residual income situation, by me helping you to pay your bills and make your bills cheaper, the companies that I introduce you to pay me a small commission each month as you pay your bill. And that creates a residual income, which is essentially is my retirement income. It's pretty much the same as an author who writes a book once, and then each time that book is bought in a bookshop, that author receives a nice little trickle bit of residual income. And if they have a successful book that sells 1 million copies, hey, they're set for life. Same thing as when you have a musician or a music star, think of George Michael, think of Michael Jackson, think of Lady Gaga, think of Madonna. They wrote the song, performed the song, recorded the song once, and every time it gets played on the radio, they receive a nice little trickle check. That's residual income. And you can create the same thing by helping other people. So by me directly helping people save money on their bills, each time you pay a bill, the company gives me a small residual. And then if you're interested in helping more people and you want to pick up that business model, again, hit me below, send me an email and say, Stu, I want to set up a business where I can help other people save money when they pay their bills and you receive a residual payment when those people pay their bills. Hit me up in the description below. Super important. You're creating a residual income for you that even if you stop work today, you're receiving those payments for years to come. That's your retirement income. That's a legacy that you can pass on to your family. So that's how you survive and thrive and improve your financial health. So number 1, cut back on unnecessary expenditures. Number 2, lower what you're paying on your essential services and expenditures. Obviously, in an ideal world, you'd be increasing what you're earning, but this is sort of thrown a bit out of whack because of the current circumstances. And number 4, create a residual income where your money is working for you even when you sleep. So for more information on that, like I said, reach out to me. I'll put my email address down below because comments on YouTube or on Facebook can get lost. So more importantly, private message me or email me to find out more. And if I can help you save money, I'll help you do that. And even better, if I can help you help other people and you make money on the side that builds for your future, let's get on top of that, help each other to become fitter, faster, stronger, both emotionally, physically, and financially. And I'll talk to you again very soon.